joining us now to weigh in on the state of the race ahead of Election Day tomorrow. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Governor, you know what this feeling is like, and it's kind of interesting to me. Candidates like yourself, like President Trump, you put it all out there. You put it all on the line. And then you sit, the voters have their say, and you wait. Not the best feeling in the world, I'm imagining, when it's at some point, it just is out of your hands. And that's the point we're now out pretty much as they finish their final remarks. President Trump will wrap up in Grand Rapids, Michigan tonight.
Well, Sean, as a fellow Floridian, I think you'll at least appreciate this. This is the first election this century, and probably many years before that, where the state of Florida is not one of those swing states. And you've covered these elections for a long time. You know, I've been involved, and Florida was always ground zero, especially for Republicans, because if Republican doesn't win Florida, the math gets impossible to get to 270. As we go into the election day tomorrow, registered Republicans have come out in Florida 10 points more than registered Democrats. Of course, we now have a 1.1 million vote lead. So the sense of anxiety down here in the Sunshine State is definitely less than it was 4 years ago or 8 years ago or even longer than that. This is going to be a really good performance here in the state of Florida.
That we know for sure. You know, it's very interesting. There was a piece in the Washington Post that suggested, well, younger people may have to lower their expectations for what the American dream would be and maybe settle for a townhouse. I'm older. I'm into downsizing a little bit. I don't want a big house right now. I like a small house. But for a lot of Americans, the idea that we have to lower our expectations and give up on the aspirations that have really built this country and the dreams that built this country, wow, that is deep, that is profound. It's almost like Jimmy Carter lecturing us again that we need a sweater. It seems like we're back in that time. How much of the failure of the Harris-Biden administration will factor into people's thinking, or will it resonate? Will they be successful calling Donald Trump a Nazi, fascist, racist, and every other name in the book? Will that resonate?
No, I don't think so. But I think the analogy to the Jimmy Carter years is a really good one. Remember, they were saying similar things back then. They said it's an era of limits. Everybody's just got to learn to get by with less. You're not going to be able to have energy. You're not going to be able to increase your standard of living. And you just kind of had to deal with it. Ronald Reagan had different ideas to that, and obviously he proved them wrong. And so I think if you look at the rut we've been in under Biden-Harris, it's a similar situation. And they're basically trying to say that this is as good as it can get. They brag about the economy, even though prices have gone up dramatically for the American people over the last 3.5 years, even though we have high interest rates, much higher than they've been any time this century. And so they're telling you that this is as good as it gets. And if you believe that, then you don't know American history. I don't think people are going to buy that. And I think the fact that they do the name calling and all this other stuff, I think it shows substantively they don't really have anything to offer to the American people. And especially Kamala. This is somebody that claims she's running on being a change agent, that she's going to turn the page. And yet when she's asked, what would you have done different than Joe Biden, who is not a popular president, she says she can't think of anything. Really? Maybe having secured the border, that would have been something different that people would have liked. What about not having 13 Americans killed in Afghanistan, our service members, because of that fiasco? There's so many things that this administration's come up short, and yet she was there with him in lockstep every step of the way. And so if you elect Harris, you're kind of re-electing Biden, but you're re-electing Biden, a version of Biden that's more vapid, much more liberal, and even much less accomplished. So why would you want to do that, given so many people see the country's going in the wrong track right now?
Yeah, Governor, great to see. I will say this, it was nice. I did have to show my voter ID, which I was glad to show, in your free state, our free state of Florida. I'm honored to have you as my governor. And the lines weren't too bad. It was quick, easy, it was efficient. I voted early, and the first time I ever did that. And you're right, I have confidence in Florida's election integrity.
And you're going to get quick results, Sean. You're not going to have to wait until Friday for your results. You will get the results tomorrow night in no time.
Really?
Right.
All right, Governor, thank you. We appreciate it. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.